My best friend, he overdosed in November of '07. I told him that I would get the headstone, and I've had the money to get the headstone for a year. I didn't want to read his name, on the headstone, so I've just put it off and put it off, and so we're going today to pick it up. I finally, bit the bullet and done it, and I'm gonna take it to his mother. Clinton was kind of I guess he sold marijuana and a petty drug dealer back in his hometown up here, and everybody kind of hung out with him. He always had money, and he threw parties, and people like being around. People always like being around the guy who's got stuff going on, and some guys that he knew, they were out in the country that they live in, and they ran out of gas, and they got their gas can and they walked to a gas station, and they got there and the gas station's closed, and they thought, man, let's just push the door open and go in and turn the pumps on, get some gas, and go home. But when they did that, they got in there and they found these tons of weapons, tons of weapons. I mean, bags and bags of guns. Clinton, like I said, was he had a little money back then, and they said, hey, you want to buy these guns? And he said, sure. So, he had just hundreds of stolen guns. Well, he was throwing a party, months later or whatever, and his best friend was playing around with one of them guns and accidentally shot and killed himself right there in front of everybody on his couch. So, Clinton's all tore up. His best friend's dead, and the police come and say, whose gun's this? And I asked Clinton hundreds of times, I said, why didn't you just say it was his gun? He goes, well, they found drugs, and I had bought them, and I was going to jail anyway. He said, and there wasn't no sense for nobody, anybody else to go to jail. He said, I was going, so what? He just didn't rat on anybody, and everybody ratted on him, and he didn't say a word. He just sit there, the whole time. So he got sentenced to whatever it was, 5 years, and he did every minute of every second that he got sentenced. They let off anything for him. When Clinton got out of jail, they put him in a halfway house in Ashland, Kentucky, and he started working out at Fitness World in Raceland. And I walked in the locker room there, and there's this guy with all these jailhouse tats, and little bald-headed guy, kind of muscular. I mean, just telltale signs of, I've been in the pen. And it was kind of, what's up? And he said, what's up? And I seen him in the gym. He worked out real hard, and we'd talk here and there, and he was, from just talking to him the first couple of times, I knew he was just a real good dude. And we started hanging out, and we just became, the best of friends. And, I moved home, and, Clinton was going to the gym with me, carrying my bag, and, he would, I remember riding to Portsmouth one time, he was talking to, I was like, my God, please shut up. I mean, he would just go on, and he said, Jeremy, you're such a dick. God, Jeremy, he would always call, he's from way up here in Elliott County, and he'd say, Jeremy, you're a dick. Clinton calls me on Wednesday, and he says, hey, there's a guy that I know, and he says that I can go to Florida, down to Florida with him, and go to the doctor, get this big prescription, and he'll give me $2,000. And all I gotta do is ride down there, go to the doctor, get my prescription, hand it to him, and he's gonna give me $2,000 and just bring me back. I said, Clinton, you got a job, why you want to do that stuff now? He goes, man, I'm behind on my electric bill, I got this, I got that. He said, this will help me, and I said, I hung up on him, I was mad. He called me back, and I hung up on him. I must have hung up on him 2 or 3 times. I said, forget it, man. You know, why, you know, you're being silly, you know, just go to work, you know, be normal. So he goes down, you know, and he calls me. He says, hey, you know, I hung up on him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was pissed, you know. He calls back. He says, hey, you know, we're left a message on my phone. Says, hey, you know, we're on the beach, man. We'll be heading back tomorrow, you know. And you know, when he was on his way down there, he'd called me, and when I hung up on him, you know, he said, hey, I'm heading down, man. You know, I'll call you when I get back on Friday. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he started going in. I said, listen, I gotta go, man. I was giving him attitude. I didn't know, you know, if I'd have known that was gonna be the last time I was gonna talk to him, I'd have, you know, probably said some shit. You know, who knows? You know, I'm at work, and I get a plant-wide PA. Jeremy Bates Police Call, the plant control facility, and you know, I call in, and he said, you need to call home. There's an emergency. And I thought, oh my God, you know, what's going on? Something with my kids, or, you know. And I call home. You know, the girl that I'm seeing at the time, she said, Clinton's dead. She said, yeah, he overdosed with Oxycontins, you know. I always used to say it to him, but it was about me, you know. I always said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Because he'd say, my God, you know, you're going to kill yourself, or somebody's going to kill you, or, you know, something. And, you know, it was about me, and he'd always get such a kick out of it. I just thought it was kind of fitting. On paper, you know, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, because, you know, on paper, it looked like Clinton was a bad guy. You know, he was a felon. You know, he got in trouble for selling drugs. He overdosed on Oxycontin, you know, the epidemic of today. But Clinton was a great guy, man. He was the most loyal, good-hearted, I mean, just nice guy you ever met in your life. He was the kind of guy that you just, you know, you wanted to have around you. He always had your back, you know. He was just a great dude, you know. I miss him every day.